Yo, what is up YouTube? It is your boy Charles here, back again on a brand new video for you all today, and this is a Banlist prediction. So without further ado, drop the like, comment, and always feel free to subscribe. So without further ado, let's begin. So honestly, there's not really a lot for this Banlist to hit, but the most important cards I feel like we all know we want to hit without a doubt is Scythe, Anaconda, and Auroradon, which is like the obvious three cards of choices. But you know, there's actually a few cards that I personally want them to get hit, like a few cards that I'm willing to want them to get hit, and there's only like a little bit, so like honestly, like, and some cards that might want to come back. So yeah, so let's just get straight to the point. The first card, even though I've already mentioned Scythe, I feel like this card itself is like a ban-worthy card. My reason being is that, like, if you think about it, this card basically brings you Artifact Scythe on the spot, and plus it's so easy to summon it, which is another thing to point out. So like, think about this, for instance, like it's like basically like similar to Anaconda, where you just like two monsters, bring this card out, and then like obviously any card or effect will be activated, just bring out Scythe right on the spot. Like, that's how broken this card is, and that's like basically the reason why like Scythe Lock is becoming a thing to this day for a while, because of this card alone itself. Like, think about it for one instance, you know, like this card is just so nuts. Any activated effect on the field, this card is going to activate as well, just for chain block purposes, and that just shows you how like this card is actually really good. And yeah, I can understand like Sanctum is a thing as well, but like Sanctum is a slow ass trap card, which is another thing to point out. And plus, like, you know, and yeah, I can understand why they would want to hit Scythe. But you know, this card alone itself just instantly brings you Scythe on your first turn. So I feel like Dagda, in conclusion, is the reason why this card is just the reason why every deck is just good with the Scythe Lock engine. So what you guys take on that part? So another card that is actually I'm willing to hopefully they bring back, which I would feel like if they do hit Auroradon, which makes more sense to bring this card back to 1, since yeah, basically his effect is by far fucking nuts, and I did not play during that time, but however, after reading this card alone itself, it's like, Jesus Christ, this card's just nuts. I don't know how to explain exactly. Like, he does have 3 effects from the deck, which I can see why it's like a must negate Ash Blossom effect target. This card's just so good. If they do bring this card back, I mean, it's better than nothing. Like, honestly, I don't mind Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon to get banned. Like, it would be worth it, because, you know, Sword Soul Tenyi is still topping to this day, yet we have not seen, like, you know, placing first place in terms of just YCS wise and all that stuff. But you know, this card itself, I mean, if they do bring it back, that would be nice, because you know, like I said, freaking the Ghosts from the Past 2, they ended up reprinting like freaking Yangzing cards and Tenyi cards, so you know, it's kind of like a big speculation of whether like if Danglong will tend to come back, and that would definitely help Adventure Tenyi in the long run, so that'd be nice, you know. Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, freaking remember about the Master Duel situation, their first ban list, even though it's only been a few weeks now, like they freaking limit Conquistador. Like, what the heck is that, bruh? Like, what the heck is that, dude? Like, what are you doing, Konami? Did I say Konami? Anyways, like, dude, freaking Komani. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, what y'all thinking? Like, this card is actually a big issue. To be honest, it's just such a big issue. Like, honestly, semi-limiting this card will be somewhat decent, just so it could, like, lower down the consistency of Eldritch decks. Eldritch can be so irritating to out, and, you know, dealing with a pop and a banish. I feel like this card should be semi-limited, even though Eldritch is not technically a big threat of today's format, besides just Cyberse Eldritch as a whole. But, you know, the whole reason why Cyberse Eldritch is actually still good is just the Scythe Lock engine for a reason. So it's like, you know, like I said, if they just hit freaking Artifact Dagda, then we don't have to really worry about Eldritch as much, besides skill drain main deck, you know. Freaking, you know, Eldritch Trap, one of my favorite decks to this day, man. Even though I have hard times winning with that deck, but I still enjoy having fun with that deck. So Eldritch of Scarlet Sanguine should honestly become semi-limited, and plus, you know, Zombie Eldritch could be reduced as well, because they actually do run this card at 3, so which is very obvious. So yeah, Fusion Destiny, I think this card needs to get limited. It really does need to get limited, so that way like hero players can actually like actually play heroes as a whole, unlike all of us that really runs Fusion Destiny package or Verte package, whatever you want to call it, DP package. Freaking DP package and Scythelock is just so dumb. It's getting so freaking dumb now. Like, we're just tired of it. It's too many splashable engines in this format. It's just getting worse and worse by the minute. So honestly, Fusion Destiny limiting it would be very worth it. Also, keep in mind that they did ban this card in OCG, which I feel like that wasn't really the big issue, which I don't know why they did ban Fusion Destiny, but I mean, that's OCG side of things. But compared to TCG, we're like in a faster paced format, while as OCG is like more slow paced due to the max C at 3, but which would make sense. Fusion Destiny itself, this card is just so dumb, so broken, way better than Red Ice Fusion in the long run. Only restricts you from just special summoning monsters except I was about to say dragon. Let's got fusion hero monsters, and yeah, you know, that's just this card itself. I think it's Dark Hero Monsters I meant to say, but yeah, like this card itself is just so good. Mecha Phantom Beast Aurora Dawn. So this card itself, this card has been helping a lot with Based, Adventure 10 Yi, and Sword Soul 10 Yi. You know, this card itself has been just winning games for a lot of people. It not only brings you a Yazi, but can also bring you a free Omni Negate on the field, like easily, with just bringing out Baron de Fleur. It could bring out Herald of the Arclight, and it could bring out Yazi, which will just bring you into a Sword Soul monster, like on the spot, like a tribute for cost to bring out a freaking Sword Soul card. Yeah, this card's by far like one of the most insanest cards I've ever seen for just synchro based decks. If it wasn't for Halki Fibrex, like this deck wouldn't be like as consistent, but Sword Soul 10 Yi as a whole would still be somewhat decent with or without having the Halk package. But you know, it's just my opinion, because I've seen Sword Soul 10 Yi decks just still topping to this day, and I'm so happy. Like Sword Soul, man, if y'all are Sword Soul players, like y'all are just W's, you know. But anyways though, like onto the next card, Orcus Harpour. It's been so long for a lot of Orcus players for this card to wanting to come back for a while. I feel like this card really does deserve a spot in the Banlist predictions, so you know, I feel like at least making it up to 1 would be somewhat decent. The only thing I can say about it is that it would make the deck a little more consistent. If it was to be at 3, it'll be somewhat nice to have at 3, but you know, Orcus isn't really the same deck like before back in 2019, even though I did not play during the TOS format because I was kind of busy with life and all that stuff, you feel me? But you know, Orcus was actually a good deck, man. It was a really good deck until, you know, Salamangreat became a thing and all that stuff. You know, Salamangreat tier 0 deck all the way, let's go. Or however Triff says it, pen best deck, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, this card does deserve a spotlight. Unlike Colossus, in my opinion, Colossus shouldn't even like come back in my opinion at all. So on to the serious stuff now. Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo. If they were not to hit Meow Meow Mew at 1, I feel like this card is actually worth hitting in the ban list, considering that this card not only lets you like search as a spell or trap, but also lets you bring back 2 monsters from the grave, like 2 Prank Kids cards from the grave, which is absolutely freaking broken. If they were to limit this card as a whole, like this, it would make the deck somewhat less and less consistent. And you know, honestly, like this card itself, the freaking Doodle Doodle Doo, is just so nutty OP. And you know, what else can I really say about it? Like, dude, we already witnessed a freaking YCS Charlotte, like somebody actually won that tournament, aka Elijah Green himself. Like this dude freaking won 2-0 sweep the Eldritch player. And you know, honestly, this deck is just, it's still a top tier contending deck, but you know, to me personally, I actually do miss the Prank Kids deck itself, like with 3 Meow Meow Mews. Like it did break my heart seeing it go in 1. Like, dude, freaking Prank Kids was just so good back in the day, man, and still is to this day. If it wasn't for Meow Meow Mew, it's still, I feel like it's time for Prank Kids to actually get hit pronto, you know, hopefully, you know. I really hope they do hit one of these cards. But speaking of another Prank Kids card, we have a card that's like way different. This is called Prank Kids Pranks, I think is what it's called. Well, keep in mind, like this card itself, it brings you back Meow Meow Mew in a free draw. This card is absolutely by far nuttiest I've ever seen. It sounds wrong already, but like this card is just so freaking OP in so many ways, shape, or form. Like, let's say like your end board was a Wandering Griffin Rider token, and then you got the dog, the Link 2 dog monster, whatever I forgot the name of that, Bow Wow Bark or something. And then you have another Prank Kid. End phase, you bring back another Meow Meow Mew, and then 2 other Prank Kids cards, and then you get a free draw afterwards. Like, and then obviously you already set up freaking Prank Kids Pandemonium already on the spot. And like, dude, the fact that like you could bring Meow Meow Mew back for follow-up is probably the most brokenest thing ever. And plus having a +1 draw, which is just nuts. This card by far is just probably the most nuttiest card I've ever seen. It needs to get banned, personally for me, because this card, I know it's a one-of and all that, but like the fact that, like I said, you could bring back Meow Meow Mew to the freaking extra deck is just too insane. And a free draw, like I said, but that is just freaking bonkers. Like, too much bonkers right there. One of the most cancerous cards of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh history, with the most generic effect monsters to bring out. Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda, a card that has been such a staple for so long, ever since from Dual Overload up until current day. And this card itself needs to go. Like, that's probably like the first thing I would want to ban on the spot. I can understand Komani still needs this card to this day, but you know, it needs to go. Like, this card needs to get the heck out of here. Even if it does get out of here, Despia wouldn't give two craps about this card, even though they just run Branded Fusion. And plus, Aluber is just their searchable card, you just bring out Branded Fusion, so, but that's Despia's side of things. But like, dude, it's just, this card itself by far the most brokenest generic Link 2 monsters ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh history, and it's just so good. What else can you say about that? So, right up our Meezer, we've been having the Brave Engine for quite some time, and I know people want the Wandering Griffin Rider band, which would make so much sense. But then at the same time, you know, think about the sales from Konami, for instance. Like, they've been making so much bread with this set ever since, due to the Brave Engine being out from January, and like, you know, I don't think Wandering Griffin's gonna get hit anytime soon, or the Brave Engine as a whole, but at least, like, if they were to hit the freaking Brave Engine, at least make it to what, semi-limited, like somewhat. Like both of these, perhaps. The Water Enchantress and the Rite of Aramesir, like these two cards alone will make the deck, will make every splashable deck somewhat a little bit, you know, have a little consistency here and there. It just goes to show, like, Brave Token as a whole is just so broken, so nothing else to describe about it. Like, it's literally just a free Omni to get on the field, so just anti-Nibiru, so yeah. Salamangreat Circle, to be honest, Salamangreat is just gone. You don't really see like Salamangreat as a whole being like played right now in this format, even though we're getting like new Cyrus monsters from Ghost from the Past 2, which I'm kind of happy, because as a Code Talker player, it makes me really happy to see those see the OCG imports being transferred into TCG. Feels good, even though it's not even the Salamangreat cards. However, it's like, you know, it just feels good. But then at the same time, you know, Salamangreats, they definitely do need new support by the minute, so 3 would be great, but no Gazelle. Unless if they do semi-limited Gazelle, then Salamangreat deck will be somewhat really good. So yeah, that's just the only limited card I have there. So, and the last card, I did predict about this, wanting this card to get limited or whatnot from 3 months ago, and I think this card needs to, at least, I hope they really understand that, you know, once the Albaz Strike was coming out, this card was gonna be freaking dominant in this format. Like, Super Poly is by far probably one of the most brokenest spell cards I've ever seen ever in this game. Like, it's an old school card from the GX side of things, you know, and this card is a 3 of in TCG, while as OCG is a 2 of. So I don't know how to describe it. Like, this is just by far dumb broken. Like, it stops basically a lot of combo decks in mid-range decks that are like light and dark specifically, and like, or in 2 warrior monsters, which is the Gear Free card, which I've been seeing that recently with other people that are using this card right now. But like, yes, this card needs to get hit ASAP. Like I said, dude, 3 months ago, I literally predicted about the Albaz Strike structure deck becoming a big thing of what this card involves, and I can literally show the clip right now. Super Poly, on the other hand, I'm surprised no one has not mentioned Super Poly, because the Albaz structure deck's coming out, there's gonna be a lot of fusions going to be in action. Like, this card needs to get hit. I feel like this card needs to get hit immediately, because like, by the time the Albaz structure deck comes out, everybody's gonna use this card. Like, everybody's gonna use this card right away, and you know, like, you can either main deck or side deck the Super Poly, and like, you know, you just win games from there. It's like literally an auto win, card for going second in general. So what do you guys think about this ban list? Like, I feel like this ban list is somewhat not bad. Ban list prediction, I meant to say, but yeah, what do you guys think about this ban list prediction? Tell me down below in the comment section. Sorry for the stutter. And yeah, guys, what do you guys think about this? So this is Charles here, and I'm out of here, so peace out, y'all.
Girl, I can't take it, these temptations keep my heart racing, make love faces. I'm not good with changes.